So at 7 p.m., we do start our regular meeting of the South River Board of Education for Thursday, May 27th, 2021. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd also like to ask at this time that we observe a moment of silence for Anthony Rosano. He was a former teacher and a former board member. Thank you. So in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975 of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the South River Board of Education was provided in the following manner. On May 13th, 2021, the notice was delivered to the office of the South River Borough Clerk and posted at the Board of Education Administration Building. On May 13th, 2021, the notice was faxed, mailed to the following newspapers: Home News Tribune, Sentinel. On May 13th, 2021, the notice was posted at the South River Borough Clerk's office. Due to the state of emergency declared by the state of New Jersey and the United States government regarding COVID-19, this meeting is being held by way of video conference in order for the Board of Education to conduct its business. This meeting is being conducted by way of Zoom, and a link to the meeting invitation has been posted to the district website so the public may join and provide comment. Upon joining the meeting, all participants will have their audio muted. If anyone from the public would like to be recognized during open comment portions of the meeting, they may do so by using the chat feature in Zoom. Here, members of the public must send their name and addresses to the meeting host, Brian Doherty. You will be recognized to speak by the host at the appropriate time, and your audio will be enabled. Participants for open comment will be called in the order that they were received. This meeting is being recorded, and a link to the meeting will be made available on the district website upon completion. Mr. Kokoska, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bazak?
Here.
Mr. Budson?
Here.
Mrs. Bush?
Here.
Mrs. Byrne?
Here.
Mrs. Lell?
Here.
Mr. Nielsen?
Here.
Mr. Rashitar?
Here.
Ms. Sadowski?
Here.
Mr. Bannock?
Here.
Ms. Almeida?
Here.
Thank you. All members are present and we have a quorum. Mr. Kokoska, under Board Secretary, those items, please.
There are no changes with the minutes as of Monday's meeting.
Okay, board members, is there a motion and a second on the minutes?
Move the minutes as read.
Second it, Bazak.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen, second by Mr. Bazak. Are there any questions, comments, or edits? All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. How about our use of facilities, Mr. Kokoska?
We have the same three: the Spotlight Dance Academy, Walgreens, and the South River Primary School PTA.
Board members, your pleasure on the use of facilities.
Move the use of facilities in accordance with board policies.
So motion by Mr. Nielsen
Second.
Second.
and a second by, was that Ms. Bush? No, Ms. Lell.
Mhm.
Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. And our financial report, Ms. Lell.
Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education hereby certifies that it is in receipt of the financial report, which indicates that no major account has been overexpended and that sufficient funds are available to meet the district's financial obligations for the remainder of the fiscal year. The Finance Committee recommends that the reports of the Board Secretary and the Treasurer of School Monies for March 2021 be approved, and I so move.
Motion by Ms. Lell. Is there a second?
Nielsen.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Are there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. At this time, we'd like to turn this over to our Superintendent of Schools for the monthly report and another very nice item. Superintendent Zurcher, please.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. I'd like to begin really giving an update on the latest vaccination clinic that we've been able to run. We were fortunate enough to offer a vaccination clinic for eligible students, both at our local South River Walgreens as well as our own middle school. And we definitely know vaccination, especially for children, is a very personal decision for families to make. It's not necessarily the choice that all families want to make at this time, but we wanted to just provide an opportunity and a service in response to those families who did inquire and who were interested in that opportunity. So in total, almost 100 students ages 12 and older were vaccinated in these clinics. And again, anytime that we can offer a service to our families to keep our children safe and healthy, we will do every effort to do so. There have been a lot of changes in COVID-related guidance, and I have asked our attorney, Mr. Parton, to please provide us a brief update during his attorney's report. But basically, the New Jersey Health Department guidance for social distancing and masking has been changing rapidly. I want to direct the public to our district website and to where we have a COVID tab listed right in the center of our district website. Here you can click on links that will take you to the latest information. And again, it does change very, very rapidly. Just this afternoon, we received some new guidance regarding what's permissible for graduation. And so therefore in our ERAM, we were able to, in enough time, be able to send an update to our families about graduation and our 8th grade promotion ceremony. So please be on the lookout for that, as well as please continue to check this portion of our website on a continuous basis so you have the latest update. One of the other things we posted today is we did go ahead and put down those barriers. We'll have those barriers down as of Tuesday. We are keeping masks on. That's a requirement. By little, we're trying to really be able to alleviate some of the restrictions that have been in place. The barriers were never a requirement. It was just an extra measure that we chose to take as a district. But we are going to put those barriers down, keep masks on, continue our mask breaks, etc. So you might see a picture of our students on social media taking down those barriers and their happy little faces actually as they do so. Yeah. We're heading in the right direction. We hope we continue to head that way as a nation. In human resources, I really want to provide the board a little bit of a heads up to where we're headed the next school year in 21-22. And we're really looking to have a human resources based goal as one of our district goals. This is the first time since I've been superintendent that we'll incorporate a goal related to human resources, which is really targeting finding, hiring qualified and diverse staff to fill vacancies. We've been noticing that when we do have vacancies, we have a small applicant pool, certainly in some positions that are difficult to fill, but overall, we've been noticing little by little, the pool of candidates has been really reduced in the last several years. This is an ongoing issue, certainly in the state. For that reason, myself and the other county superintendents have tried different efforts, different ways that we can make the profession attractive to college students. Again, we've met with Dr. McCormick from Middlesex College, Dr. Holloway, the president of Rutgers University, to see how we can partner to really encourage more enrollment in college preparation education programs. So that's one of our strategies, but we'll certainly go ahead and put some more strategic plans in place towards this goal as we develop our district goals in 21-22. I've also included in my report some new legislature that Governor Murphy signed into law on April 19th, also giving another route for those teachers who are certified in other states. Again, this was in response to the pandemic, but we're hopeful that this will continue to provide some out-of-state teachers some flexibility to teach here in New Jersey and therefore widen our pool of candidates. And lastly, I really, Memorial Day is one of those opportunities we have to maybe get together with friends and family, but I certainly don't want to lose sight of the true meaning of Memorial Day, and that it is a day set aside to really pay respect to those people who have lost their lives in service to our country. And I just really wanted to take a moment to recognize that and really remember what the day is all about, in addition to being able to gather in memory as well. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Shanetta Turner-Smith is here in our meeting today, and we are very excited. She has kept us waiting. We are excited to hear the results of the Day of Giving. So I'm going to turn it over to Shanetta.
Thank you.
Okay, there she is.
Thank you, Superintendent Zurcher. First, I would like to thank all of the administrators, staff, parents, of course, the Board of Education for your continued support for all of our initiatives that we do. We truly, truly appreciate it. Appreciate your support in order for us to support the school district. Our first day of giving, we hope to make it an annual event. We raised over $1,700. We were very pleased with that. Our goal was $5 per student, but there's always next year. And we hope that we can build upon the success of this year moving forward. Without any further ado, I would like to announce the school that had the most donations. And that school is the South River Elementary School. Mrs. Wargo, congratulations, student and staff, and all of the community that comes together when we do things like that. It does not go unnoticed nor unappreciated. And again, we thank you one and all. I will be delivering this personally to the elementary school. I will reach out to Mrs. Wargo and see what's a good time for her, perhaps after the holiday weekend. And again, thank you to everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you, and thank you to SRP really for always finding creative ways, no matter what barriers are in front of you, to continue the great work that you do. And thank you for being here tonight and giving us that great news.
My pleasure.
Great.
Have a good holiday, everyone.
Oh, have a great holiday.
You too, Shanetta.
And so concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Zurcher. So is there a motion for the superintendent's report?
Move superintendent's report is read.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen. Is there a second? Second
Basak.
by Mr. Basak. Are there any questions or comments on anything that was covered in the superintendent's report? I do have two quick comments. The first I want to note, which I'm sure Ms. Bush will be going over in her curriculum and instruction report, is the summer program for students in grades K through 8 that our Dr. Trevisano set up. Very impressive, and I know Ms. Bush will be speaking on that more. And the other item that I wanted to note in our high school principal, Mr. Bouchier's report, there was in April, as part of the April faculty meeting, what he calls positive phone calls. And the entire staff reached out to the parents and guardians to talk about something positive that their child did in their class. And the feedback from those parents was very positive. I don't think I've ever seen that initiative, or maybe I did and I just didn't read it until this report, but I thought that was really, really good to be reaching out, especially at a time like this. And the entire staff reached out to the parents and guardians of the students to talk about something positive that their child did in the class. That's great interaction. There are no other comments. Are we all in favor of the superintendent's report? Aye.
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 Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to have our first public session and reception of visitors. And this is the time for the public to address agenda items only. There will be a public session at the end of the meeting for the public to address other matters that may be of interest to the Board of Education. If anybody would like to address agenda items, they can state their name and address in the chat section of the Zoom meeting. You will be recognized, and please keep your comments to a 10-minute time limit. Is there anyone in the chat room at this time?
No, I don't see anybody at this time.
Okay, we're going to close this public portion then. And Mr. Kokosko, would you please read the consent resolution?
The South River Board of Education, by means of a consent resolution, adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Whereas the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by said Board of Education in whole, as if the same were individually acted upon. Under finance, before we go through this, we all received the email from Deborah about removing an item on the finance.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, fine.
Yep, we're good. And then she renumbered it.
Right, well, having said that, under finance will be 8.1 through 8.22 and 8.24 through 8.27. Under instruction, items 9.1 through 9.5. Under negotiations, 10.1. Under policy and legislation, items 11.1. Under human resources, 12.1 through 12.29. And safety and risk, items 13.1 through 13.3.
Thank you. Board members, what is your pleasure on the consent resolution?
Move the consent resolution.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen. Is there a second?
Second, Byrne.
If I could, I will be abstaining on item number 8-10.
Second by Ms. Byrne. Okay, so at this time, if there are any questions, comments, or abstentions. And what was that, Mr. Basak?
Yes, I will be abstaining on item 8.10. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments, or abstentions? Mr. Kokoska, would you please call the roll?
The second one was by Ms. Byrne, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, Mr. Bazak,
Yes,
and abstaining on,
abstaining on under finance, item 8.10. Thank you, Ken.
Mr. Budson,
Yes.
Mrs. Bush,
Yes.
Mrs. Byrne,
Yes.
Mrs. Lell,
Yes.
Mr. Nielsen,
Yes.
Mr. Rashatar,
Yes.
Ms. Sadowski,
Yes.
Mr. Vanek.
Yes. Thank you. The motion passes. So at this time, we're going to move on to our committee reports. Our first committee report, Mr. Budson, Athletics and Extracurricular.
There's nothing to report this month, but I like to shout out to the golf team, which is having a fantastic season. That's all I have.
Thank you. For Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Nielsen?
Nothing new to report tonight, Madam President.
May I go back to Mr. Budson's comment for a second?
Yes.
I'm not sure about the golf team. Is that men, women, mixed? What is that?
Thanks.
I think it's the boys that's undefeated.
Okay,
Last time I saw.
okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks for that clarification. Then moving on to Finance, Ms. Lau.
Thank you. Perfect. I'm going to read from 8:22 on through 8.21 we covered on Monday's meeting. So 8.22, addition approved contract Claytoons Inc., 107 Productions live streaming services provider for the 21-22 school year. 8.23 was addition reject award 21-22 bid number 21-06 athletic supplies various vendors. 8.24 addition approve submit accept the Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education Act of 2006 grant application for fiscal year 2022. 8.25 was addition approve contract Effective School Solutions LLC for our mental health services provider for the 21-22 school year. And 8.26 was addition approve submit accept the ESSER2 ESSER2 consolidated application grant for the fiscal year 2021. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Lau. Our next committee report is Instruction, Ms. Bush.
Hi, everyone. I do not have any additions since Monday evening's meeting, but I do want to discuss Dr. Trevisano's monthly report that he provided for us so that everybody is aware of what is happening in the world of instruction. Just a couple things for everybody to be aware of. First of all, they had their last PD day that was scheduled for May 14th. And at that time, they did focus on PD and what is going to be coming for the upcoming school year. We are also, or they are also in the process of focusing on high school scheduling, finalizing some teaching sections and student placement for next year before the master schedule is set. And as President Urbanek had mentioned, Dr. Trevisano gave a really great overview of the K-8 summer program that he's putting in place. So it's a K-8 program that's combined with the after-school provider right at school. And right now the administration is determining the parameters of the program, but it will be organized as some form of summer camp with a tutorial component as well. So the kids will get a little bit of instruction in there as well as some extracurricular fun and much needed playtime. Also coming up for this summer, they're working on the final phases of the high school credit recovery program. This will help any students who need to recover some lost credit due to failure. Also some tutoring services will be provided as well. The instruction committee, we met on the 18th of May and we did a lot of, we had a really great conversation. It was really very informative. And I just want to give everybody a quick update as to what is going on in the world, again, of the Department of Education and how they're ever changing the rules and parameters. But just so that everybody's aware, the Department of Ed has changed its timeline for the approval of the science, fine and performing arts, world language, and 21st century curriculum guides. They were supposed to be done for September 2021. That was pushed back to September 2022. And we have roughly 80 some odd guides that fall into this category. But also due at that September 2022 deadline is the social studies, the computer science, the phys ed and health. So Dr. Trevisano, since we already purchased Atlas, which is where we house our curriculum guides, and because we are already in the process of revising, we're moving forward with meeting the original deadlines and timelines that the state has put into place. In fact, that is going to look very favorable because we are going through QSAC next year, the 2021 school year. And we will be able to show the reviewers that we are in compliance with what they are asking for ahead of schedule. And again, we have like 140 some odd curricula over the next 2 years that have to be revised. So this is a very, very big undertaking. We did purchase a new math program, both for K-5, it's the Into Math, and for 6-8, it's Envision. And again, over the summer, we'll be writing new curriculum guides to go along with those textbook series. Finally, we had a conversation about the high school schedule and the scheduling committee that met pre-pandemic and what configurations may be done and a discussion around that. And as more details are finalized, I'm sure we spoke on Monday. Mrs. Zurcher said we could have the high school principal come and do a presentation so the high school parents know what the school will look like next year. And that is all I have, unless Sylvia, you might want to add anything that I might have forgotten or to clarify.
You were very, very thorough. I can give you an update on the summer program. We finished identifying those students. We used multiple measures to identify students who we believe could benefit from some additional support as a result of perhaps missing instruction during virtual or just really not responding as well as one would hope to the virtual instruction. So in total, between grades K and 7, we actually identified 404 students who we are going to be sending summer camp invitations to. We're going to use grant funding, and we're going to invite these students to come to a summer camp experience, which is going to be run by Right at School, because we already have a good partnership, a solid partnership with them. And then we will be providing an academic component within that summer camp day. So we are looking forward to really giving students the best of both worlds, some fun and socialization, but also some academic support through the summer. So we're excited about that. We're putting out those invitations to those families specifically on June 1st. That's when we come back from Memorial Day weekend. And then we also will be advertising some other opportunities for enrichment. We're looking for a library enrichment program at the elementary school, and we're looking into some enrichment programs that might be extensions of some of our existing clubs, such as robotics, etc. So there will be a lot of opportunities for 8th graders. We will do a transition program over the summer so that we really get them acclimated to the high school before they even step foot inside. And then credit recovery for high schoolers who just need a little bit of a redo on some courses they may have lost credit on. So we have a lot going on this summer. It's going to be busy. Of course, we will be running our ESY program as we do every year for our special education students. We're going to have a lot of kids in our schools over the summer. It's going to be a busy time. So we're excited, really excited about that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Is that summer camp program, is that the whole entire summer?
It is 7 weeks, beginning after, right, it begins after July 4th, so July 6th, I believe is the start date, and it goes all the way to the end of the 3rd week of August. And full day, and we are working on providing transportation as well, where we put that out to bid to see if we can even include that as well. So it's really, I hope for our families, a no-brainer, and we have the kids join and have a great summer.
Sylvia, I just have a question for clarification, and I don't know how many parents are going to view this, but do kids have to commit to the 7-week time frame? What if they have vacation scheduled? Can they, just to clarify in case parents have interest but conflicts?
We had so much discussion on this, so much discussion, so much back and forth on this. We compromised on asking families if they're going to be in the program, they have to commit to a minimum of 4 out of the 7 weeks. We thought that was a fair compromise. 4 weeks is enough time to really get the benefit from the academic support, yet also is respectful to the fact that, sure, you might be away on vacation, or maybe you're interested in other camps, other opportunities as well in the summer.
Great, thank you. I just wanted to clarify for the family. Thank you.
And
That's
we'll
all
put
I have.
all of that, we'll put all of that in our notification going out June 1st. We didn't want to send it before the holiday weekend. We thought it'd be best to send it when we're all back after the long weekend.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Our negotiation item was approved under the consent resolution, and that's for the SREA sidebar agreement for the school occupational therapist. Mr. Rashatar, would you please take your committee of policy and legislation?
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. One item is an addition, and that's to approve the authorization of additional legal fees, policy number 3580, Board Attorney Kenny, Gross, Kovats, and Parton for the 2021 school year. There's a attachment. It's a memo from Mr. Kokoska. Ken, would you care to elaborate or on that memo, explain it to the board?
Sure. As the accountability regulations required, I think we're going back maybe 10 or 12 years. The board is required to set a maximum fee that they would be paying their board attorney. The board had set an amount of $24,000. Every year we analyze it. And in the event that it comes, that we're going to exceed that, we're required to get authorization to exceed the amount that's incorporated into the policy. And that's what this resolution did. It allowed us to go over the 24. I believe it was not to exceed now 30,000 for this fiscal year.
Okay. Thank you. That's all under policy and legislation.
Thank you. Human Resources, Mr. Basak.
Thank you, Madam President. I have 4 additional items since Monday evening. Item 12.26, addition, approve, appoint Amy Dimmick, behaviorist, 2021-2022 school year. Item 12.27, addition, approve, appoint Emily Selman, family outreach social worker, 2021-2022 school year. Item 12.28, addition, approve, appoint Michael Idenden, technology tech support technician, 2021-2022 school year. And item 12.29, addition, approve, appoint Donovan Cooney, high school business teacher, 2021-2022 school year. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Safety and Risk Management, Ms. Snelsky.
Thank you, Mr. Urbanek. There's no additions since Monday night's meeting.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Byrne, would you please report on the school community relations?
Sorry, I had a problem with the mic for a second. Hi, everybody. The first press release is the high school. Congratulations to Mariana Figueroas on being named a winner in the Youth Bias Task Force Student Competition. The theme of the competition was Stand Up Against Hate, Bias, Stereotyping, and Prejudice in your school, your community, and your state. Students were invited to submit a creative slogan, hashtag, piece of artwork, or a short video to inspire other students and young people to stand up to hate. Mariana submitted her slogan in January, and the New Jersey Division of Civil Rights chose her slogan over nearly 200 entries as the winning message. Her slogan, challenge traditions, fight inequality, and stand together, will become the tagline featured on all materials, including lawn signs, social media posts, posters, advertisements, and more. Mariana was recognized in a virtual award ceremony held on April 28, 2021. The ceremony was the final event in the 75th anniversary of the New Jersey Division on Civil Rights and New Jersey Law Against Discrimination, Stop the Hate series, an anti-bias vision for the next generation. Mariana gave a poised and eloquent response when asked what civil rights meant to her. We are extremely proud to have her represent South River High School, and we are both inspired by her and inspired by her work to change our world. Congratulations, Mariana. The high school, the May Student of the Month for 2021. South River High School is proud to honor one student each month as the South River High School Student of the Month. Students are chosen based on their exemplary status as a model student through community service, academic record, modeling the Strive for 5 core ethical values, of respect, responsibility, honesty, kindness, and service, and maintaining an exemplary behavioral and attendance record. Jonathan Vasquez has been selected as our Student of the Month for May due to his commitment in community service in school. Jonathan's community service is diverse as he gives of his time at Elijah's Promise Helping the Needy, creates displays, puzzles, and works behind the scenes at Caring Closet, and teaches soccer concepts to youth using video games for FIFA Academy with the Triple E Foundation. Within our school community, Jonathan is involved in both the French and Spanish clubs. He continues to show his interest in helping out the community throughout his involvement in the Earth Club, Operation Smile, and Take a Step Club. Jonathan is also a member of the South River High School varsity soccer team for all 4 years of high school. While keeping active in the community, Jonathan achieves honor roll status every marking period and works part-time. We wish Jonathan luck as he pursues a career in business at Rutgers University School of Business in New Brunswick. The middle school April Students of the Month. English Language Arts, grade 6 is Deshaun Lewis. Grade 7, Chloe Enriquez. Grade 8 is Zachary Serencestas. Math, grade 6 is Terrell Burum. Grade 7 is Diana Vidal. Grade 8 is Nicole Vieira. Science, grade 6 is Yaneli Gonzalez. Grade 7, Alexis Mano. Grade 8, Keone Lewis. Social Studies, grade 6, Dina Carmu. Grade 7, Aliyah Roos. Grade 8, Chrisan K. and Melvin Santos. English as a second language for grade 6 is Leander Rodriguez Vincente. For PE, grade 6 is Kayla Kirkmeyer. Grade 7 is Cameron LaTraverse. And grade 8 is Caesar Ray. And for the cycle, grade 6 is Cheyenne Wysiak. Grade 7 is Elisa Costa. And grade 8 is Maribel Sousa. Congratulations, everybody. As Ms. Smith said before, the Wall of Fame recipients, looking at the wrong thing. The Wall of Fame recipients for 2020. In March, the Wall of Fame committee met to review nominations for this prestigious recognition. We would like to recognize the latest recipients of this honor. Mr. Michael Robinson, class of 2007, was not only an exemplary student, but also participated in a variety of activities while in high school. He was a member of the National Honor Society, newspaper staff, and ran cross country. Following high school, Mr. Robinson attended Rutgers University, where he double majored in journalism and media studies. Mr. Robinson is currently a producer for Sportsnet New York, where he produces various baseball and sports center television productions. Our other recipient is Mr. Frederick Roselli. Upon graduation from South River High School, Mr. Roselli, the class of 1969, attended Seton Hall University and went on to attend New York Law School. He has been a local attorney for over 35 years and continues to have strong ties to the community, volunteering to coach basketball, baseball, and football. Most notably, Mr. Roselli was awarded a Chapter Leadership Award by the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. We are very proud of our 2 nominees and look forward to hearing more from them at our next Wall of Fame induction ceremony. And the last item was the South River Fee Day of Giving. We'd like to thank everybody who participated, and congrats again to Mrs. Wargo and the South River Elementary School. And a reminder that the SR Fee next fundraiser is Customize It. You can design your own shirt, hoodie, baseball hat, blanket, coffee mug, or wine glass or tumbler. And the information is on the website and on the latest ERAM. And that is all. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations.
Thank you. Our School Board Borough Council Liaison Committee, Mr. Nielsen.
Nothing new to report tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. PTA Liaison, Ms. Sadowski.
Thank you. There's a couple of things still going on. all the PTAs have been doing teacher appreciation lunches and other events throughout the month of May. The elementary school and primary school PTAs have been organizing dress-up days, like themed dress-up days for the kids. And the primary school, they're actually planning an end-of-the-year event, which is a bubble party in the first week of June. They also have a coloring contest going on, and they actually have a virtual book fair going on until, I think, today. Ordering details for that can be found in the ERAM and on the PTA newsletter. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Our South River Public Library Liaison, Mr. Budzen.
Well, they have a whole slew of summer events. Mondays in July and August, they'll have animal adventures. Wednesdays, they'll have story time at the community library. On Fridays, they'll have story time for preschool students. And one day they're going to make s'mores from a solar oven using a pizza box. They'll have a teddy bear sleepover. And one day they'll have an Eyes of the West Wild, where they'll have unusual animals where you may be able to pet some of them. Then another day they'll have Snakes and Scales. And on Wednesday, 8/25, they'll have a dance party with house fun and fitness to send off the summer read program. And also they're having a book sale. And today they called up, someone got a call that they will donate the leftover children's books to the school. And I gave the number of the superintendent's or the main office so that the woman can call and arrange a pickup of his books. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Budzen. The library is busier than some people than I know. So that's good. I'm glad you'll let us know about all that. And for the South River Foundation for Educational Excellence Liaison, Mr. Rashitar.
Thank you, Mrs. Urbanek. I have nothing to add to what was presented on Monday.
Okay, thank you. And from our Student Board Representative, Ms. Almeida.
I have nothing new to add, but I just wanted to wish a special congratulations to our class of 2022 in the high school for winning our Battle of the Classes event last Friday, and also for hosting a really great prom that we had earlier in the month. They worked through the pandemic, and I don't know how they did it, but they pulled off such a beautiful event. So I just wanted to give them credit where credit is due. And that's all I have.
Very good.
Very good is right. Thank you. Do we have a report from our attorney? I think our superintendent mentioned something. You're going to update us?
Yes, just to bring people up to speed. There have been a lot of contradictions and changes in the last 31 days or so. I mean, it's been a year, but there's been a flurry of contradictions in the last month about what exactly the graduation ceremonies can look like this year. And Ms. Zurcher asked me to update you. Back starting with April 26th, the Department of Education and then the Department of Health and the Governor's Office on May 13th, we're talking about what masking, social distancing were going to look like and what the capacity limitations were going to be for outdoor ceremonies. Cautiously optimistic that you could probably have something. The executive orders continued to come along, and on May 17th, Executive Order 241 appeared to say that whatever's happening outdoors, it doesn't apply to anything happening at schools, so you may have a problem. That lasted 2 days until the Department of Health contradicted it entirely with their circular on May 19th saying that there are no masks needed at outdoor graduations whatsoever. That was contradicted by another executive order, and fortunately for us, on Monday, Executive Order 242, and then today, Ms. Zurcher received direct guidance echoing it from your county superintendent and the Department of Ed. As it turns out, for the moment, graduations are going to look very much like they looked in 2019. there is clear guidance, again, for the moment, on all three issues. There is no capacity limitation. There is no social distancing. There are no masks. Everything will be as close to normal as we get these days, which is closer than ever. So your graduation ceremonies, provided that they're outdoors, and I know there are going to be rain dates built in to enable both the moving up and the graduation to be outdoors, under Executive Order 242, which takes effect in 13 hours, we will have normalcy unless we hear otherwise. So that is the update on that. It is complicated. It is frustrating for your superintendents and for your administrators at the building level, especially high school, but that's where we are. Things look good for the moment.
Thank you. That does give us some clarity, and thanks for putting that in simple terms, for me at least. And then until you have another update, let's hope that does hold. At this time, I'd like to ask if there is any old or new business, or if any board members have any comments they'd like to make.
I'll start. You asked if we would like to speak about Tony prior to. I've known Tony since 1974. I had him as a teacher down at what was the junior high. And you just clicked with him as soon as you walked into his classroom. He was just one of those teachers that made everybody feel at ease. And, you know, he was genuine. You knew if he was talking to you and he was giving you advice that it came from his heart. And later in life, when I went on and he became a member of the Borough Council, as a member of the police union, we would have negotiations like we did. And Tony was on the other side of the table, and he always, again, conducted himself with professionalism and kindness. You always knew where he was coming from. And we saw that when he was elected to the board. His love for education and teaching never left. He always made sure that he was on top of the curriculum. He honestly cared about his students. You know, and every year he would say, you know, how people say the education system in South River isn't what it should be. And he would read off the list of names of colleges and universities that our students were accepted to show that it is a quality education you can get here. And it was one that he gave and continued as a board member. And I think we'll keep up that tradition. You know, when the graduation and all our college students let us know where they're going, I think we'll read that list on in Tony's honor. And Tony, you were a good man. I can call you a friend, and that's a wonderful thing in the world today. And rest in peace, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Does anyone else wish to offer any?
Yes.
Thank you.
Tony taught all four of our daughters, and I met him in parent-teacher conferences once or twice. And I had kind of lost touch with him until I started volunteering at the food bank 4 years ago. And his wife, Linda, was a volunteer there. And one day he came to visit, and I reintroduced myself to him. And remarkably, he remembered all four of my daughter's names. And then flash forward another 2 years or so when I was appointed to the board. I really leaned on Tony for advice, clarifications of certain issues. He was never at a loss for time. I could be on the phone with him for an hour talking about the board and our roles in the board. He was truly a gentleman. He was, and he certainly will be missed.
If I may, Cindy.
Yes, of course.
So I have to say that Tony he really is irreplaceable. I have to just start by saying that. I took over his position as chair of the instruction committee, which is a huge undertaking because he is was a remarkable teacher and educator. He was always pro-education and making sure students had everything that they needed in order to be successful, and the teachers as well. I am going to miss his jokes, Chris. I'm looking at you specifically because that was something we always look forward to at every meeting. He had a great sense of humor. And I remember he always asked about my family, what my in-laws were doing, my husband in particular, and his siblings. It is a great loss, and he is irreplaceable. And yes, Kevin, I would be honored to continue to read the names of schools the students will be attending every September.
Very good.
Can I add something?
Please.
I had the pleasure of having Mr. Rosano, who will always be Mr. Rosano to me, as a teacher in middle school. And I was able to witness firsthand the positive impact he had on his students. I'm sure that most of you saw even the positive feedback on Facebook, well, the tributes. He really had an impact on the community as a whole, and he will definitely be missed.
If I can, I'd like to say too, I'd like to echo everything the rest of the members said. Tony was a great man. I met him many years ago. His soul was, I met him during politics and then when he became a board member, but his main focus was the Board of Education. He loved the board, and this board is going to miss him deeply. My deepest condolences to his wife and family.
I want to say, Cindy, that all the time I knew Tony, I always wished he had been my teacher. Just hearing from everybody else who did have him as a teacher, I wish I had had that fortune and that opportunity. Tony helped me make South River home. He always had history for me. So many great stories, not just the jokes, so many great stories, so many things to add. I will miss him. I will miss him a lot.
All right, I'm gonna try to get through this without getting all teary-eyed. All of you are aware of our relationship, but I get to be the lucky one who has somebody in their house who is always a connection to him. I guess that's the best way of saying it. So when he started magic, he used to experiment with me because it was 1990, and all of you know that I'm very black and white when it comes to certain things, and I don't believe in gobbledygook. And him and his magicians would set up in their living room at Governor's Point in their house when they lived in North Brunswick, and I'd go, "You moved your hand. I don't believe that the Bible really, got on fire." And you looked to him, and it gave me the idea that you were, like faking something. And then that was the one and only time I was allowed to judge their magic shows. But it's just going to be different. That's that's just how I have to see it. And in true Tony fashion, I'm going to end it with my favorite joke of his. What is this?
I don't know what.
It's a microwave.
That's a Tony joke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, trust me. It's my favorite one. That one I memorized, I don't know, early 90s. I think so. They've been going on for a long time, way before then. But yes. So thank you very much, everyone.
I'd like to say something. I think he was a great man, a great asset to the community, to the school board. And if anyone deserves to be on that wall of fame, it would be him. And I think we should somehow get his name on that wall. That's all I have.
I agree with John.
Absolutely.
I agree with him.
Thanks, John, for saying something I couldn't say.
Okay, Ms. Byrne, did you want to add anything?
I didn't know him really. I only met him once in the 3 years that I've lived here, but I've always heard wonderful things about him. And being part of the Wall of Fame committee. If anybody would like to nominate him, send me the info.
Very good. Mr. Kokoska or Mr. Parton? Of course,
Yeah.
you're,
Thanks, Mrs. Urbanek. It's impossible not to say something about Tony. God knows he always had something about all of us. He is a spectacular and irreplaceable guy. A fantastic personality. He had been everything and was happy to tell us that, and he was always right. Liz, the microwave joke is appreciated. It's like Tony speaking to us from beyond. But he was a spectacular personality, and he was the king of dad jokes. Speaking about himself, he'd probably say that now that he's in heaven, people will be dying to get in. That's the way Tony rolled. But we will miss him. I will miss him terribly, and rest in peace, Tony.
thank you. Ken, did you have anything to add?
Sure, last but not least, Tony always supported my office, had the kindest word to say about our staff, and sometimes, and probably all the time, myself personally. He was a wonderful board member, and we're going to miss him.
Yeah.
Yes, we most certainly are. He was truly a remarkable man.
Yeah.
Okay, if there is no other old or new business or board comments, we're going to move on then to the payment of bills. Ms. Lowe.
Thank you, Ms. Urbanek. The Finance Committee recommends that all bills presented having been certified by the School Business Administrator Board Secretary be paid as listed, and I so move.
A motion by Ms. Lowe. Is there a second?
Second by Nielsen.
Second by Mr. Nielsen. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We will pay the bills. Okay, at this time, we are going to have a reception of visitors. And at this time, the public may address any concern or comment that they have for the board. You're asked to please state your name and address in the chat section of the Zoom meeting. And please keep your comments to a 10-minute limit. We're going to pause and see if anybody does enter the chat room and wishes to address the board. I don't see that there is anyone in the chat room, so at this time we will close this reception of visitors, and we would need a motion for adjournment.
Nielsen.
Motion by Mr. Nielsen,
Well,
second by Ms. Lowe. All in favor?
Aye. Sylvia,
Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, all.
Good
May I
night,
ask for-
all. Have a good weekend. Take care, Dave.
Sylvia, can I
you.
ask you for a